Jack of all trades, master of none. Hey everybody, Scott Stalker here. Today I want to tell you about an exceptional book and why I've added it to my 2024 reading list. Early on in my career in the Marine Corps, I started out as an intelligence specialist, and we always called ourselves the Jack of all trade and the master of none. But as I grew in more senior positions, that generalization and understanding of all the intelligence disciplines throughout made me a far better intelligence professional and able to do my job much better. And so when I picked up this book and read it, I'll tell you, it really struck a chord with me. It really made me reflect on how I was able to achieve success later on in life. And it had a lot to do with being a generalist vice a specialist. So, the next book on my 2024 reading list is called Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World. And this comes to you by the author David Epstein. In this book, he challenges the prevailing belief that specialization is the key to success. Instead, he argues that developing a broad range of skills and experiences is far more valuable today in today's complex and rapidly changing world, especially with artificial intelligence, large language models, machine learning, and all of the technology and the changes in technology and how fast and rapidly things do evolve in this ecosystem. Here are some of the key takeaways that I found from the book that I think will be very helpful for you. And if you're a parent like me, I think it'll be helpful as well as you raise your child and consider them being generalist vice specialists. Specialization has diminishing returns. The more specialized you become, the less adaptable you are to new and challenging opportunities. And so think of technology today. If you can only do one thing and 16 months from now, that skill set no longer exists because a machine took it over, you're not able to adapt and move on. And again, this is why being a generalist is helpful, because you can adapt much quicker. Generalists have an advantage in complex environments. Complex problems often require diverse perspectives and the ability to integrate knowledge from different disciplines. He talks about the sampling period and how crucial this is. Early exposure to a variety of experiences help discover their true interests. It allows you to discover your true interest and develop a foundation for later specialization. But you want to start with a base of knowledge and a base of information and a wide range of experiences. And this is what he calls that sampling period. Deep learning is slow. True mastery takes time, dedication. It requires us to fail forward, to learn from our failures, to succeed and triumph, also known as wisdom and experience. Regardless of whether you're a generalist or a specialist, true mastery takes time. He talks a lot about interleaving being a key. Switching between tasks can improve your performance on each one. And so going from a variety of different tasks over time, you learn a little bit more about each specific task, and you become a better generalist. And often those skill sets allow you to become a greater leader and manager of a company, military, you pick your type of organization. Epstein uses a variety of different examples throughout his book, whether it's sports, business, he uses science, variety of different data, all to illustrate his points. He shows how some of the most successful people in the world are not narrowly focused experts, but broader generalists, and have allowed them through that generalization to succeed and to move up the chain in the corporate ladder. So here are some of the benefits he talks about being a generalist. Number one, increased creativity. Generalists are better at coming up with new ideas and solving problems in innovative ways because they know much more about the problem set or about the issue, and they have greater worldly knowledge as well. They're not just singularly focused. Greater adaptability, which I think is huge. They are more likely to thrive in changing environments and embrace new challenges. Enhanced resilience, which is another important thing. You've got to be able to take on the challenges when the seas are rough, when the environment is rough, whether the economy, you name it, but it's not always going to be perfect, and you've got to have that enhanced resilience. They are better to bounce back from setbacks and learn from their mistakes, move forward, adapt, and overcome. Stronger social skills. Generalists tend to be, based on the data that Epstein presents, far better communicators and collaborators. And this is really, really important. Whether you do this through a virtual means and you got to communicate with teams that are around the globe, or if you've got everyone physically located, being able to be an effective communicator, and I've talked about this a lot, is critical. Of course, with the good, there's always a bad, and being a generalist doesn't come with its setbacks. Some of those are, it can be difficult to find your focus, and you may not have the deep knowledge about a specific item that you're diving into. And that's where the specialist sometimes tends to have that expertise. But if you're a collaborator and a communicator, you know who those specialists are, and you bring them on their team and you allow them to talk and hear their thoughts and opinions as well. And that makes you a more effective leader. However, Epstein argues that the benefits of being a generalist far outweigh the drawbacks. So here are my 3 big takeaways from this book. Number 1, broad experiences lead to better problem solving in complex environments. As we know, the world is it's an interconnected space. It's constantly evolving and presents complex challenges demanding diverse perspectives. Generalists, with their wider range of skills and knowledge, are better equipped to navigate these complexities and come up with innovative solutions. In the book, Epstein uses an example of this when he talks about Marie Curie, whose expertise in both physics and chemistry allowed her to discover radioactivity. And she wasn't a specialist, she had basic expertise in both, and that allowed her to find and discover radioactivity. My second big takeaway, deep learning takes time and iteration, not early specialization. Again, true mastery isn't about starting young and narrowly focusing on one path. Instead, it's about building a strong foundation through varied experiences and then iteratively deepening your knowledge over time. But take the time and enjoy the grind and enjoy the opportunity to have multiple experiences along the way. In his book, Epstein highlights Tiger Woods as an example of this, whose early exposure to a variety of different sports fostered his athleticism, made him a greater athlete, and allowed him then, after he had taken on a lot more, to focus on one single sport, obviously in golf, and be an excellent athlete there and a champion. My third big takeaway, embrace your sampling period and don't rush to specialization. This is critical, this is key, and this is something that I'm going to be thinking about as I raise my family. Early adulthood shouldn't be about locking yourself into one career path. Instead, use this time to explore different interests, acquire diverse skills, and discover your true passions. Just think, and I wish I had this skill, I don't, if you were able to learn multiple language and how much greater a communicator and collaborator you would be instead of a generalist who only knows one language like myself. This sampling period allows you to develop a broader range knowledge base and make more informed choices about your future direction because you have greater wisdom through experience and knowledge. Epstein cites artists like David Hockney, who experimented with various mediums before finding his signature style. And that's an excellent part of the book. I highly commend it to you. My 3 big takeaways encourage us to embrace a more fluid, adaptable approach to life and learning. In conclusion, Range is a thought-provoking book that challenges us to rethink our assumptions about success. It encourages us to embrace a more well-rounded and adaptable approach to life and to see the value in the diverse experiences and skills we acquire along the way. And it's why I placed this book on my 2024 reading list. All right, everybody, thanks again for joining me as we continue to explore our own personal development as I introduce to you different books and talk to you about them along the way and talk to you about a variety of different things. If you like this video, if you have some thoughts or ideas, please share those in the comments section below. Thank you very much.